All right, so I'm sitting inside of a 2018, and this is a Honda Accord. This is the touring model. It's a 1.5 liter turbo. So I'm going to walk you through the car and just explain what some buttons and knobs are so you have a better understanding of how the vehicle works. So let's start you over here on the side of the door. So start from, you can see your power windows. You have auto up down on your driver and passenger side. My window lock settings followed by my door lock settings. My mirror controls are right here, so left and right, and then you adjust the pad accordingly. Moving up onto the dash, my heads-up display. So this will turn it on and off. So I'm gonna pull up, see if you can see it right here. Let me zoom in some right now. You can see I have a compass and then the 0 miles per hour. You can turn it on and then of course turn it back off. So that's how that works. My tripometer information and things like that are gonna be right next to it. So let me zoom back out. As far as toggling through what's going on with my Honda Sensing, so if I hit this, you'll see this come up on the dash. From there I can select and turn things on and off. So that's what's going on here. So I'm gonna exit back out of that screen. My parking sensors on this vehicle are right here, so I can turn them on and off. Vehicle Stability Assist works with your traction control. So in the event that you go into a skid, it transfers power to the wheel that has more traction. So that's what this feature is. This is always on unless you want to turn it off. Only time you'd want to turn this off is like if you were stuck in the mud and wanted to spin your tires. So that's what this function is. Let's move over to your dash here, excuse me, or I should say your steering wheel first. First I'll start you with the home button. Home button is going to change the tachometer. And from here, I can either have classic tachometer or I can change this to a whole lot of different things. So it's just nice that it's a digital display now. It gives you some options as far as you can see what you're viewing, who's calling you, navigation if you wanted your next turn by turn direction there. So a lot of different things. Traffic signs, this will read signs off the road and let you know what the speed limit is. So just some great features and functions that you have available to you here. How I'm doing this is you hit the home button, that pulls up the initial screen, and then to toggle around, you can see me moving down and up. That's how this works, right? So, okay. Now that we've gotten that figured out, let's move on to the next thing. So, as far as volume controls, you have a plus and a minus right here, so that's what's going on right there. And then a back button. So if I jump into a screen I don't want to be in, you can see I'm backing out of stuff. Once I've selected it, I can back out of it. So that's what's going on with the back button right here. As far as jumping to the next track, jumping to your favorite stations, that's going to be these two buttons right here. Moving down below, these are going to be your Bluetooth controls. So to answer a phone call, to hang up, use voice command. So call so-and-so, that sort of thing. This also works if you're connected up through Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. It gives you access to Siri or OK Google. So this is a really cool function right here. Moving over to the other side. All right, so start you off here, HUD, so heads-up display, that's what that is. So earlier I was showing you that right now I have the compass and my speed going. I can change what displays there. So I have a few different things I can view. So it's just nice. I can see adaptive cruise control and lane keep assist, my compass, as far as power meter, this is reading the road signs to tell me the speed limit. So a lot of different things you can view there. And that's using this button, obviously right here. Let me zoom back out a little bit here. All right, so jumping over to some of the other controls here. So main, whenever I hit the main button, you're gonna see ACC and LKS come on. That's adaptive cruise control and lane keep assist. So as far as adaptive cruise control goes, once I get up to my speed, I press set. From there, it'll hold my speed, and then I can set the distance it keeps between me and the car in front of me using this button. When I hit it, you'll see blocks pop up. The more blocks, the more space it'll keep between me and the car in front of me using the radar in the grille. So that's how this function works. As far as lane keep assist, that is this button right here. When I turn this on, you'll see those lines come on. When you are going down the highway, it's from 45 miles an hour to 90 miles an hour. When they fill in solid, it means now the camera, which is actually right up in this box right up here, if you can see it, is actively reading the road. From there, if you start to drift out of your lane, it'll help correct for you and keep you inside of your lane. So that's what's going on there. So that's how that function works. If you're using your windshield wipers, that function will not work. It'll turn off. So just keep that in mind, something to be aware of. So looking over to the left side, this is gonna be my light controls. You can see I do have it set to auto right now, and then I do have fog lights on this vehicle. So that's where both of those are. While I'm over on the left, you'll notice I do have paddle shifters on this vehicle also. So you can see my minuses on this side, and then my plus is gonna be on the other side. So it just gives me a little bit more control over the car as far as shifting points, things like that. On this side, you're gonna find my windshield wiper controls, and they are intermittent, so I can affect exactly how much speed I have going on them. So that's what's going on there. Moving over to the dash. All right, so I'll start off on the touchscreen. Let's just go to the home. So navigation-wise, it's set up through Garmin. So pretty easy to use and understand as far as pinching and pulling and using it a lot like a phone. A lot of people grasp this pretty quickly and understand how it works. So you can tell and kind of walk through things. So not too hard for most people to figure out what's going on here. I'm going to back out of this screen. You can use voice commands in that, by the way, through the voice command button down here, so navigate to, that sort of thing. So keep that in mind. Just some different options. Phone, as far as once you've connected up a phone to Bluetooth once, it'll then prompt you to get to your contact history, you know what I mean, any previous recent calls, any of your contacts, like I mentioned, just general Bluetooth stuff. So to connect a phone, it's going to prompt you and walk you through from the get-go. If you needed to add an additional phone, I'll show you how to do that. You'd go here, we'll go to connections, from here, Bluetooth, and then connect a new device. And then it'll prompt you to make sure your Bluetooth is turned on and walk you through the process. So that's how to do it. Not too hard, pretty easy stuff. FM, pretty standard. I don't think I need to explain much to that. Bluetooth audio controls right here. So if you wanted to use Spotify, Pandora, anything like that, anything music saved directly to your phone, you could obviously access that. Smartphone connection. So this is going to give me a little bit different way to connect up to my phone. Oops, let me back out of that. So if I plug into the USB, which the USB is right down in here, what it does is it allows me to access the navigation of my phone. So if I'm an Android-based user, I have access to Google Maps and Waze. If I'm an iPhone user right now, I have access to Apple Maps. So not yet Google Maps for iPhone users. I get that question a lot, so just keep that in mind. This gives me access to not only my maps, my music, my messages. If you're connecting up to an iPhone, it mirrors your screen essentially. It looks just like the icons and the way your phone's set up. So a lot of people like that just because it's familiar. It's easy to work through and they understand it. For Google-based users, or I should say Android-based users, it looks a little bit different, but it's still very easy to work through. I am personally an Android user and I have no issues working through it. It's nice and simple setup, so it's easy to understand. Your trip info, so you can get to that right here if you just wanted this presentation here versus having it over there where your tachometer would normally show up. So just different places you can have the same info. Text messages, as far as reading it off aloud, do things like that, is right there. The car does have a hotspot. It's set up for 90 days for free. Afterwards, you can contact AT&T and set up an account with them. I want to say it's like $9 a month. I can't remember exactly, but it's right around there. The car does come with 90 days of Sirius XM satellite radio. It does have USB, so you saw the one that was down in here. I also have an additional USB down here in the console, so I could plug in a thumb drive if I wanted to and be able to listen to music. I could plug directly into, you know, an MP3 player or anything like that and access to music also. So just different ways you can do things. And then, of course, you can connect up wirelessly via Bluetooth. To accessing my clock and changing things like that. Nfc Manager. So NFC, if you're not familiar with it, it just allows you to tap your phone directly to it and connect up via Bluetooth. So it makes the process a little bit smoother as far as walking through that. So that's what that is, in case you aren't familiar with it. You can Google it and look up just kind of how it works and what it is. It's just a simpler setup as far as connecting to a phone. Honda Link allows you connection via your phone through the car to give you access to things like recall notices, maintenance reminders. As you move forward, there's actually some different tier levels you can get into this. If you want to be able to start your car via your phone, it's going to give you access to things, such as locating your car out in a parking lot. You can save, your location, and that way you can send it to a friend if they need to go to the car and get something, or if you just need help getting back to your car. So some cool stuff that's connected with that and kind of moving forward. The rest of this is pretty simple, self-explanatory buttons down the sides. You do have a volume knob. I know that was a point of contention for a lot of people in a lot of our vehicles, so know that you have it. Flashers are right here. Moving down, you do have the AC controls. They are separate left of right of each other. Your cooled seats, you can see how they have those on. Heated seats are right here. So 3 different settings right there. And then your AC, how much air, where you want the air to go, things like that. So pretty self-explanatory stuff. Moving down, Econ button will improve gas mileage of the car. Whenever you turn it on, you will see a green leaf come on up there. So it'll show you just like that. What that does is improves gas mileage by affecting shifting points and limiting things such as your AC unit and your accelerator, so just keep that in mind. It'll improve gas mileage, but it does limit a couple things. Sport mode kind of does the opposite. It increases the rev, RPM, so it's going to rev it a little bit higher, and it's going to run a little bit hotter, so it's going to go a little bit faster. You're going to get more get up and go, but you're going to lose out on the gas mileage. So if you're feeling sporty and you're feeling like you want to get up and move around, maybe this is for you. If it's a little bit more conservative driver and you're just trying to get better gas mileage, this might be the way to go. The electronic parking brake. So to use it, push your foot on the brake, pull up to set it. Red light lets you know that it's now set up. To release it, put your foot on the brake, press down. It's now released. Brake hold, this button is set up to where if I'm in stop and go traffic and my car is in drive, so car is shifted into drive, I have this button on, and when you press this, it'll alert you up in the dash. Like right now I don't have my seatbelt on, but it'll tell me brake hold is on when it is. When I come to a complete stop, it'll hold the brake while the car's on drive. I can let my foot off the brake and just relax. And then when it's time to take off and go ahead and hit the gas. It'll release the brake and I can move forward. So that's how this feature works. Other than that, this is a touring model, so it does come with leather inside of it. This is the black leather. It is perforated, so you can see to allow for heat and AC to get through. It does have the wood grain finish along the sides and the doors, so keep that in mind if that's something that interests you or doesn't. Over here, I don't think I pointed this out earlier, it does have memory seating, so this car does have that, in case you were wondering. And then I'll give you a quick view of the back. You do have a flip down 60-40 split along with a center console that folds out, and then of course you have cup holders inside of that, the doors, the front, plenty of different places you can store drinks. So feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions, 512-443-4300, and just ask for Justin. You can email me, jfuller@howdyhonda, that's the letter J and then fuller@howdyhonda.com, or just respond to this YouTube video. I'd be more than happy to answer your questions. Thank you much.